Have you always been an optimist? You seem like a positive person from the short time I've met you here and our email exchanges. I know you had a nice saying in your email. It's just gives an impression that you're positive and you're open to just different input from other people.
Oh yeah, you have to be. I think a big mistake that here's what I think right now, because especially as filmmakers, right? Because we control, like filmmakers, we have so much control, which we really don't understand the power that we have. So when you go to the movies, right, a lot of, we set trends. If you look at Boys in the Hood, if you look at Minister Society, if you look at Goodfellas, right? People, like even rappers, right? Rappers take their names off of movies or off of gangsters from different movies, because what we do is so powerful, And so I know that as a filmmaker, I have to be positive, because if I don't, then what I'm doing is I'm just aiding in the destruction of humanity, and I never wanted to be involved in that. I always wanted to say, I want to stay positive. I want to put out positive content. And I've been offered for so many times to do negative things. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so as filmmakers, we just have to be true to us and be true. But we just can't do things just for money, because at the end of the day, we doing things, or we just can't be in this business for money, because we be doing things and we won't be our souls won't be satisfied. We may be passionate about filmmaking, but if you're taking your passion, if you're doing things that you don't want to do, you're losing your soul. So I always wanted to be positive. I always wanted to put out positive content. Now, am I always positive? No, it's something that, of course not, because I'm human.
Sure.
And so again, but I always have to even remind myself, like, this is what I wanted. I mean, it's always been tempting. It's always been tempting, because especially when you're in a position when you have to pay your bills, and it's always happens. You have to pay those bills, and somebody comes with an offer, but an offer that's not that's going to challenge you morally, and you have to say, no, I can't do that. Those were chances. Those were things I've had to turn down because of that. I'm not just going to put out any type of images and things like that. Because we have to, we have a duty as filmmakers, and our duty is, first we have to be true to us. If you want to be in this business to make money, okay, go ahead, be in this business to make money. There's plenty of money to be made, but what are we at the end of the day? 10 years from now, 20 years from now, how are we going to change the condition of this world? And so many times people just want to stamp labels on people. We don't want to have true, real dialogue. So instead of having true, real dialogue, we just put labels on people, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think we're more divided now in recent few years, and it, not just politically, but just in many different ways, and it's definitely apparent, and I've read articles too that we were just more divided in beliefs or and it's a shame, because you would think that just with social media and everybody's access to the same tools, that there would be sort of an evolution where we could just be, everybody would be sort of satisfied with their own life because they can put something out there, whatever their passion is, and not think that they have to wait for someone to, quote, help them. But yeah, I definitely see that. And I see it in the comments too. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can see it in other videos comments, and just how divided we are right now.
Yes.
So, would you say you've always been a positive person, or like this sort of open thinker, or did something happen in life that kind of changed you in that direction?
I think I have always, I think this is why I love my mother so much. Like, my mother is a diehard Christian, point blank. She goes to church every Sunday, but she never forced any type of religion on us. And I never told her this, but she never forced us to go to church. She never forced religion on us. So I think that had a lot to do with being a critical thinker. And then when I would ask questions, I remember when I had to be like 7 or 8 years old, and I had asked the pastor a question. The church I want to. And he told me never to question God. And I was like, ooh. But I was young, and I knew that something is wrong here. You're like, why would God not want us to question him, if he's secure in his word. So, but my mom, so I always been a critical thinker, and since I can remember. And I never try to rush into judgment, like ever trying to rush into judgment. I have to think about it. Like when things happen on social media, I'm not the person to just post or repost stuff. Yeah. I have to research it to see, is this stuff is real? Is this like, even when President Donald Trump tweets and people share his tweets, I have to go to his page and see, okay, is this a real tweet? And so we have to search out things and to make sure that things are actually, like, especially as filmmakers, because we are storytellers, we should always research something before we just put it out there. Because again, we hold so much power, like artists hold so much power. So, we're very familiar with how China changed because of their artists. China was a country that was, it was in, opium and the prostitution, but what they did was they brought their artists together. They said, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna use art, we're gonna use entertainment to change the condition of the Chinese people. And look at China now as a superpower, and so as artists, what we can do is, we have to come together, and we have to come together, and we have to start using our gifts and our talents to change. We can change, not only America, but we can change the entire world if we just start to put out more positive content. Content that show more people, content that shows love, content that shows more unity, more respect, regardless of what we believe in, just respect people's ideas. As filmmakers, that should be very important to us, just to show, just to do more positive. Because the thing is that you have so much stuff that's so negative that people are looking for more positive content. Now, again, let me explain to you. Here's the interesting thing. So we hear all the time how Black films do not sell overseas, which is totally false. This is what people are looking for. And what, Black Panther proved that this is false, but what we have done with our independent films, we have sold a lot of our films overseas. This is what people are not interested in overseas. They're not interested in the negative images that, as Black filmmakers, that we put out. If we put out positive images, positive stories, I get so many emails from people from Europe, people from different parts of America, just saying that thank you. Like, we did a film called Black Coffee, and it's a couple of sites called it one of the most positive Black films ever made, right? We get so many people who just email us and inbox us through social media, just thanking us for putting out, I'm not talking about Black people, I'm talking about people from across all walks of life, thanking us for putting out a positive message and a positive images. And this is what people want to see. They want to see more positive content. And it's not that it's not that Black films don't sell overseas, but they don't want to see the negative images. They want to see positive images, because, leave the negative images where you want to leave them at, but more people want to see the more positive stuff. And if we show the more positive images of Black people, as Black filmmakers, then those films will do very well overseas. They don't want that type of stuff, and we shouldn't have to give it to them. We should, so that's the thing.
Did you always feel this way? I mean, did you go through a phase where, as a teenager, let's say, you liked certain films, but then you realized, I'm not feeling how people are represented in these movies?
See, when I came up, I was a big John Hughes fan. He's from Chicago, love John Hughes. I used to sit back and watch his films and study his films. And one of the things is, I love the storytelling. I love the love stories. I can relate to those stories. So coming up, those are the type of films that I was influenced by. Then you had Spike Lee to come along, more in his earlier stuff, so many positive images. So Now, again, I love me some Goodfellas. I love Mark Scorsese. I love Mark Scorsese, you know. So I look at those films, but I always knew, you know, but again, like my favorite filmmakers, like the John Hughes, my favorite, the Spike Lees, and I love Kevin Smith too. I know a lot of people talk about, you know, some of his films and how, you know, but if we carefully watch Kevin Smith's films, he's saying some really deep stuff in his films. You know, especially Dogma. Dogma is like one of my favorite films. You know, so yeah, I mean, you know, but sometimes here, like even if you just take Dogma for example, like Kevin Smith's film. Kevin Smith gives you his films, like they're raw, there's a lot of profanity in them, but just listen to what they're saying. There's something, a message that he's saying that we can, like, for the people, for a certain type of generation. So he's giving it to you raw, but he's also putting something in it that you can take and make you think. Because Dogma is great. It's an amazing film. Yeah.
It's funny because he speaks like that too.
Yeah.
You know, he may be funny and sarcastic, but there's like a point to what he's trying to make. So,
yeah. I love his interviews. Love them. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very entertaining.
Yes.